Oh, what a dabby beauty day for fall morning. Oh, what a dabby beauty day for fall today. Greetings, one and all, and welcome once again to Tom's Hit Parade. By the way, I invite you to hit that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up if you like what you see, share this video with your friends, and leave me your thoughts down in the comment section. That would be super duper. So here we are with another delayed playlist video. This is where I talk about the stuff that I've listened to over the last over the last month, or however long since I've done the last playlist video, which in this case has been 2 months. I've been trying to do the videos every month. Been mostly successful, and been mostly successful at keeping up with my average listening of one album every other day, in an effort to clear my vinyl listening backlog, which is these last two compartments up here on my record shelving. I don't know if I'm going to maintain that goal and actually complete my listening backlog by the end of December, as I was hoping I would, because these last couple months I've fallen a little bit behind in that goal of 15-ish records per month. I've got 22 here in this stack, and but that covers 2 months, which would be, in this case, September and October. Yes, this is the beginning of November. Yeah. Um, it's been a weird year, for a variety of reasons. So yes, I've listened to 11 albums each month over the last couple of months. So close, but no cigar in terms of my listening backlog. So, or my pace, my intended pace. So anyway, at the risk of prattling on and on and on, let's go ahead and get started with the 22 records I've listened to over the past 2 months, going by genre here, starting off with comedy and spoken word. I've really appreciated the humor of Bob Newhart from back in his early days. I think he was originally an accountant and then moved into the world of comedy because he obviously had a gift for it, the deadpan style of delivery and all that. And yes, I've got several of his comedy albums here. This one is Bob Newhart Faces Bob Newhart. And this is kind of later on in his recording career, where his material started to decline in quality. He had some great routines on his first 3 or 4 albums, but this one, still pretty funny, but not quite as funny as his earlier stuff. But yeah, still a fun listen. And then we have another comedy act that I have several albums by, and this would be the Smothers Brothers. I've been, as you've seen in my last several playlist videos, I've tried to have at least one Smothers Brothers album because I had several in my listening backlog. So I don't want to load up a single month with multiple albums by the same artist. But yes, this one is Tour de Farce, American History and Other Unrelated Subjects. This one is pretty funny. They do a lighthearted take on famous moments in American history, as the title suggests. And yes, they obviously they kind of take their liberties with the telling of these tales. It's obviously not meant to be taken seriously. But yeah, funny album, gotta say. And yes, that was another comedy team that was very funny. A lot of their stuff was politically oriented, so some of it has aged not so well. Some of it has aged well. So, that's that's life, I guess. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't know. This next album I have had on cassette for a long time, for probably 40 years. I've had it on cassette. And it was one of the first albums. I liked it so much that it was one of the first albums that I put onto CD when I got my very first CD recorder, which was a standalone one that I had hooked up to my stereo system. And this is Dick Clark Presents Radio's Uncensored Bloopers. This actually, the record appeared in the new arrival section at House of Records just about a month ago. So I decided I enjoy the album. I had only ever had it on cassette, so I decided to pick up the record, and lots of fun. And I mean, the title says it all. Dick Clark hosts a collection of bloopers from radios from all the past up to the current day at 1984, 85, 1984. from radio, with all sorts of radio personalities, news personalities, sportscasters, uh, what have you. So disc jockeys. So yeah, lots of fun. Very fun collection. I really enjoy listening to that one again and again. I don't know. I don't know why. It's just fun. Now we have the one and only soundtrack in today's collection. And this one, again, this one was arrived at House of Records, New Arrivals vinyl, used vinyl, a couple months ago. The Muppet movie soundtrack. Yeah, what can I say? I love the Rainbow Connection. Obviously, is one of my favorite movie related songs of all time. I just love the message in that song and all that. And Moving Right Along is another great song on there. I cannot remember the last time I watched the Muppet movie. It was probably when I was a kid, and my sister loved the Muppets, so I probably watched it with her. So yes, I need to watch the movie again. So yeah, lots of fun songs, and in my opinion, you're never too old for the Muppets. Kind of like, in my opinion, you're never too old for the Looney Tunes cartoons. I love the Looney Tunes cartoons. So yeah. Oh, and this one has a nice little gatefold here. Well, if you can see the entire thing. Yeah, you can see the whole thing. So lots of fun here. And yeah, definitely need to watch that movie again. It's been quite a while. And now we're moving on into jazz. One of my favorite contemporary jazz or smooth jazz groups of all time is Spyro Gyra, and this is their album Morning Dance. I've got probably 4 or 5 Spyro Gyra albums on vinyl and 3 or 4 albums of theirs on CD. So yes, the Rippingtons, Spyro Gyra, and the Yellow Jackets are my holy trinity, if you will, of contemporary jazz. So yeah, another great album by Russell Ferrante and Jimmy Haslip and friends. No, that would be the Yellow Jackets. I'm sorry. This is Jay Beckenstein leads the Yellow Jackets or the Spyro Gyra. Yes, I am much more a fan of the Rippingtons than the other 2 groups. So I obviously still confuse the members of Spyro Gyra and the Yellow Jackets. So, very good album, as Spyro Gyra's albums always are. And here we have an artist that I've been a fan of since I first got into music, with getting into New Age and instrumental music. This guy is named Eric Tingstad, and this is one of his very first solo albums called Urban Guitar. And yes, he had actually, when I first became aware of him, it was with his team up with Nancy Rumble, who was a woodwind player. And they had several albums together on the Narada label. And so, but I have since discovered actually one of his albums on CD, one of his solo albums on CD, and one on vinyl. So, yes, very, very talented guitarist. And I think he is from the Pacific Northwest, Washington, I believe. At least this record is from a record label, a independent record label from Washington. So, Cheshire Records. So, yeah, very good stuff. I do appreciate and enjoy Eric Tingstad. Then we have a flugelhornist, I believe, is the most accurate description of what this guy plays. Chuck Mangione, the late great Chuck Mangione. This is a double album, live at the Hollywood Bowl. Fantastic set. I would love to have this album on CD, or I may just actually put it on CD myself. But yes, a nice booklet here of, or actually it's just a 4-page center spread of photographs from his concert tour and all that. And of course, he covers his most popular song, Feels So Good. He actually opens the album and closes the album with an encore of it. So, but yes, 2 LPs full of great, great stuff. The 11th Commandment, Doing Everything With You, Love the Feeling. Children of Sanchez, another one of his more popular songs. Hide and Seek. So, yeah, very, very entertaining and fun collection. As I said, hopefully I will at some point find this on CD. Be nice to have. And we have another New Age-ish artists that I have shown in my playlists before. Andreas Vollenweider, a harp player. This reminds me a lot of the new age stuff I listened to back in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. I just never checked out Andreas Vollenweider until much, much later. So, excuse me. This is, I believe, his third album, White Winds. And I do like the covers of his albums. They're very cool. So, yeah, good stuff. Then we have a classic artist here, pianist, band leader, composer extraordinaire, Henry Mancini. This is his album, A Warm Shade of Ivory. And this was actually on the freebie shelf at House of Records. Picked it up a few weeks ago. A little bit of noise on it, so it's not the most clean copy. Probably kind of why it was on the freebie shelf. And there's somebody selling a Spanish edition of the CD of this that I'm thinking about picking up sometime very, very soon. Possibly even by the time this video has been uploaded, I will pick it up. So, lots of fun stuff on here. In the wee small hours of the morning was a classic American songbook hit. And Watch What Happens from the motion picture The Umbrellas of Cherbourg. By the Time I Get to Phoenix, the classic country song. The love theme from Romeo and Juliet. The Windmills of Your Mind. Dream a Little Dream of Me, which is one of my favorite Mamas and Papas songs. So, very nice collection. I really enjoyed that one. And we have fun little story to go along with this record. I was listening to it, and I thought, that doesn't sound like doesn't sound like Frank Sinatra. And it was kind of weird because it was on a label that I don't think Sinatra ever recorded on. So it's like, is this really a legitimate recording? And then I realized the reason it didn't sound a lot like Frank Sinatra is because it was Fred Astaire. I must have been tired that morning. But anyway, yes, Fred Astaire sings and swings Irving Berlin. Great collection of stuff. I've never been as fond of Fred Astaire's vocals as I have Sinatra, Bing Crosby, Tony Bennett, etc. But still, he's got a nice voice, very nice voice. Putting on the Ritz opens up the album here. I'm putting all my eggs in one basket. Top Hat, White Tie, and Tails. Stepping Out with My Baby, Cheek to Cheek. So very good collection of songs. Lots of fun and kind of cool that it's got this kind of mirrored cover. And this album I actually found at a little yard sale that a sorority house had been holding over near the university, obviously. They just had a stack of records there. And I said, how much do you want for these? And I think she said, whatever you want to pay me, just whatever you want to pay, just take the whole stack. So I think I gave her $10 and I got like 12 records. So, and in surprisingly good shape, sound-wise, this record. So, yeah. The jacket has got some, as you can see, the jacket is almost halfway torn on both sides, but still, record's in pretty good shape. Now this one, where did I get this? I think this was on the freebie shelf also, much more recently. Ferrante and Teicher, or is it Teicher? I'm not sure how you pronounce his name, but a duo of famous piano players. They performed piano together, or at least they did, for a long, long time. Dozens and dozens of albums they put out. So one of the great easy listening teams of all time. And yes, just a kind of classic pop song or pop songs from the era. Bad Bad Leroy Brown, the Jim Croce song. The Most Beautiful Girl, which I think was, what's their name? Shoot. No, not Dr. John. Dr. Hook, I think is what The Entertainer, the Scott Joplin song. The Way We Were, the classic movie song. You Are the Sunshine of My Life, the one that Stevie Wonder made famous. The Best Is Yet to Come, It's Good to Be Alive. Nice set of songs. Not sure if I'll keep this album. It's kind of, a little bit more on the schmaltzy side of easy listening. So, sorry, Ferrante and Teicher. I don't mean to belittle your talents. They are very talented piano players. Just, the sound can be a little bit schmaltzy. I don't know. This next artist, though, for some reason, I like this group. listen to one album. I actually was asked in my little side hustle of putting LPs or cassettes onto CDs for people who can't get the album on CD otherwise. Um, did an album by this group several months ago, and since then I've kind of enjoyed listening to them. The New Christy Minstrels. This is the quiet side of the New Christy Minstrels. Since that album, I found actually that same album at a St. Vinny's or at a thrift store, picked up 3 or 4 more, and have been enjoying them. So, not sure why. I mean, you talk about schmaltzy. These guys can be a little bit schmaltzy in their delivery as well. Wow, the screen is turning yellow. That's not your computer or your video playback device. The screen is actually turning yellow because of this. But yeah, lots of fun songs there, as you can see. Let's see. None that I really am familiar with. Traveling Man, I don't know if that is the Ricky Nelson song. I can't remember. Can't remember if that was the Ricky Nelson song. Probably, yeah, I think these were all just kind of, folk songs and all that stuff. Jimmy Grove and Barbara Ellen, My Dear Mary Ann, A Traveling Man, I Don't Know Where I'm Going, or I Know Where I'm Going, Don't Cry Suzanne, Bowcatcher Mountain. Decent set of songs. Pretty good stuff. And this one I found at House of Records. This is actually one that I paid for at House of Records. Yes, on occasion I do buy records at House of Records. But yes, this one I kind of wanted to listen to it as soon as I saw it, so I had to buy it. Carol Burnett and Martha Raye together again for the first time. So yes, obviously I've been a fan of Carol Burnett for my entire life, and Martha Raye. The peak of her career was a little bit before my time. Uh, by the time I was familiar with her, she did a lot of commercials, so I'm sure she was a much bigger entertainer before then. But yes, they both have great voices, great singing voices, and so it's a lot of fun seeing them or hearing them on this album. They do songs solo. Each of them does songs solo. They do some songs together. One of the things that on here I didn't realize actually until after I bought this, they sing. They both sing "A Big Beautiful Ball," which is a song from the movie Not With My Wife You Don't. The song and the score from the movie co-written by John Williams. So yes, a John Williams connection on this album. Yes, the score is by John Williams. The song was co-written by John Williams. Yes, those were the days. That classic American songbook standard. I've Got to Be Me. This Girl's in Love with You, the Burt Bacharach hit. Baby Dream Your Dream. Whatever Happened. Lots of fun songs on this album, I have to say. This is one of my favorites listens in this entire stack of stuff. So now we're getting into actually, let me take a quick drink of water here. Tea, actually. And we're into probably the second half by now, I think. This is all rock and pop and a little bit of country in here also. You saw volume 1, I think, of this earlier. This is volume 2 of Vintage Music. Rock and roll hits from the 50s. Great collection here. Ain't Got No Home by Clarence Frogman Henry. Really enjoyed that one. Roll Over Beethoven by Chuck Berry. Peggy Sue by Buddy Holly. Stagger Lee by Lloyd Price. Rock and Roll Is Here to Stay by Danny and the Juniors. Whispering Bells by the Del Vikings. You get the idea. Yes, lots of great pop hits on this one. There were several, at least 12, I think, volumes of this. I would love to eventually collect all of them. I had several of them on CD a long, long time ago before I pruned my compilations section. So yeah, lots of good stuff. And another compilation here of much more recent stuff. And again, you saw Volume 1 earlier in a playlist video. This is Gold and Platinum Volume 2. I first had the Gold and Platinum series up through Volume 5, I think, on cassette. These were manufactured and sold through the Columbia House Music Club, primarily at least. They might have been available in some other way. I don't think they were, though. But yes, pop and rock hits from the day, from the 80s. This is 1986. This collection was from 1986. But yeah, lots of great stuff on here. I'm so excited by the Pointer Sisters. She Bop by Cyndi Lauper. Heart and Soul by Huey Lewis and the News. Cover Me by Bruce Springsteen. Running with the Night by Lionel Richie. Everybody Wants to Rule the World by Tears for Fears. So again, you get the idea. So yes, great pop radio hits from the day. Smooth Operator by Sade, Voices Carry by Till Tuesday. Great stuff. I've fond memories those collections bring back. And then here we are into the actual solo single artist rock and pop records. Here we have Cloud 9 by George Harrison. Yes, this is actually the only George Harrison solo album that I have. And of course, the song Got My Mind Set on You, which, if I recall correctly, somebody else wrote. And this is George Harrison's version is actually a cover. But yes, plenty of good songs on here. Produced by Jeff Lynne. In the I think this was the build up to the Traveling Wilburys when all those guys got together. Jeff Lynne produced several albums by artists who eventually joined the Traveling Wilburys and formed the Traveling Wilburys. So pretty cool stuff, obviously. Very good stuff. And then we have Jimmy Buffett's Greatest Hits. Yes, songs you know by heart. Jimmy Buffett's Greatest Hits. So, and obviously we've got Cheeseburger in Paradise, one of my favorite songs. And now it does have, yes, Margaritaville. Why Don't We Get Drunk? Boat Drinks, Volcano, Son of a Sailor, A Pirate Looks at 40. And yeah, this all the songs you would expect on a Jimmy Buffett Greatest Hits album from 1985. So yeah, why not? Why not have a little bit of Jimmy Buffett in my collection? Then we have Rick Springfield. Yes, this is Success Hasn't Spoiled Me Yet. This is, I believe, the follow-up to Working Class Dog, which I do have. This is from 1980 something. No copyright date on the back cover. That's unusual. And I'm not seeing copyright date on the sleeve. Oh, 1981. Yeah, on the sleeve. Has the original inner sleeve. But yes, what is the famous song on here? Don't Talk to Strangers. That was the big hit off this album. As I struggle to put the sleeve back in. Record, excuse me. Okay, you're not cooperating. See, Calling All Girls. What Kind of Fool Am I? That was pretty good. Oh, the song after Don't Talk to Strangers is How Do You Talk to Girls? That would be, well, if you don't talk to strangers, how can you talk to girls? Come on, Rick, make up your mind. Still Crazy for You, The American Girl, and the closing track is April 24th, 1981. And so, yeah, good album. And yes, Rick Springfield was, don't know if he was more famous or less famous, but he was actually an actor on, I believe, a soap opera. And he was an actor as well as a singer. So, side note. Then we have, I've got another album by these guys, pretty darn good, I have to say. And this one is just as good as I remember the last one being. Sean and Hammer, Neil Sean from Journey, and Jan Hammer, the keyboardist. And this is their album Here to Stay. Lots of great stuff on here, and again, more vocal numbers than I expected. I expected more of them to be instrumental, but yeah, excellent stuff. You Think You're So Hot, Turn Around, No More Lies was a good one. Sticks and Stones, Peace of Mind, another very good album by them. I think they only did 2 albums together, but yeah, very, very good stuff. I might have to look and see if there are any more albums. I could be wrong that they only did 2. Then here we have the 1985 self-titled album by Air Supply. Yes, a little cheesy, a little schmaltzy, but I have a soft spot for these guys. They were pop radio mainstays back in the 80s when I was the time that I most listened to the radio, which still was not a whole lot. But yeah, the only real big hit off this was Just As I Am. And I got to say, this was when they started kind of their downslide in quality. This was after their really, really big hits from the first half of the 80s. And they tried to do a little bit more hard-edged, which, I mean, still for Air Supply is not really saying hard-edged, pop and rock kind of sounds, which you know, on the one hand, it was kind of nice to hear something different from them because Air Supply was, you have to admit, for most of their career, they were a one-year band. They did the soft pop love songs. So it was kind of nice to hear them try something different. At the same time, it just wasn't their sound, which I kind of, so I kind of understand. I kind of see why this album was less successful than their previous ones. So, but still, some pretty good songs on here. Make It Right. They do a cover of The Power of Love, which was, who was it that did that song first? Um, Jennifer Rush. She originally did the song. It was covered by Celine Dion and a few other artists as well. And they do a good job on that one because it's a ballad. And so, yeah, After All, Never Fade Away is a pretty good one. When the Time is Right. So some decent songs on here, but still, it was after their glory days as the 80s soft pop kings, but still, decent album. This duo here, though, this was still when they were still in their heydays. Daryl Hall and John Oates, this is their album Private Eyes. The title track, of course, massive hit. I Can't Go For That, No Can Do, another fantastic song. Did It in a Minute, another great, great hit of theirs. Let's see, was that, I think those were all the big hits on this album, but yeah, still, just a great, great collection of songs. One of my favorite groups from the 80s was Daryl Hall and John Oates. So yeah, I've got, this is like the fourth or fifth album of theirs that I have, and I'm not done collecting their stuff yet. So yes, very, very good album by a very, very good artist. And the last one here. This one I actually found on the freebie shelf. As you will see, the jacket and the original sleeves are pretty much wrecked and badly damaged, but the LPs were in excellent shape. So it was kind of a steal to get this on for free, basically. So I'm kind of hoping maybe I'll run into a specimen where the jacket and the sleeves are in really good shape, but the records are trashed. But yes, it is Continuum by John Mayer. You can't see much on the cover, but it's John Mayer's White Album. But yes, obviously there's some big, big hits on there. Don't know if you can see them very clearly here. Waiting on the World to Change, of course, big hit. Gravity, another great song. Vultures, I really like that one. Slow Dancing in a Burning Room was one of my favorites. And In Repair. And the added song Say. Say was not on the original release of the album. It was added later on. Another great song. But yes, as you can kind of see, it comes with the original sleeves. But yeah, see, just yes, the album underwent bad water damage. And something that looked handwritten. I thought it was the previous owner wrote it on there, but it was actually John Mayer wrote something on it. And yes, the other sleeve, as you can see, is really trashed. But yeah, the records were in fantastic shape. And also another thing was that the original owner wrote the album title on here. Oh, actually, you can kind of see. I don't know if I can get the light to hit it correctly, but there is a embossed image of John Mayer. Yeah, you can. Oh, there it is. You can kind of see it there. And I think that's a bridge that's up above his head, and you can see his face there. But yes, the original owner wrote Continuum. They misspelled the name of the album. It's kind of weird because that handwriting is very close to my sister's handwriting. Looks very much like my sister's handwriting, but she would have known how to spell Continuum. Sorry, I don't mean to badmouth the previous owner of this album. Actually, in a way, maybe I should because of the condition that this album ended up in. But anyway, so yeah, it was a very good find, obviously. And yes, as I said, perhaps at some point I will find a great looking jacket and pair of inner sleeves, so that I can marry a perfect condition set. So yes, but yes, as I said, the records were absolutely spotless, noise free, wonderful shape. So yes, that was a real big score. I used to do a series called Rescue Records, and I just sort of lost interest in it. Not really, but sort of. And I just never got around to doing any other episodes. But that record would have been in one of my episodes of Rescue Records, just because, yeah. Anyway, so yes, I hope you enjoyed that list of albums that I listened to over the past September and October. So yes, forging on ahead with trying to keep up with my listening backlog. Probably won't get rid of it by the end of this year totally, but I'll just have to take it on into early next year. But yes, I do intend to eventually deplete my listening backlog and be all caught up with that. And the next will be my CD listening backlog, which is huge. But anyway, that'll do it for this video. Be sure to like it if you liked it. And before you go, drop me some feedback in the comment section. I'd love to know what you think. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell icon to catch my future videos, hit my username to browse my old videos. Links to my socials and my favorite fellow YouTubers are in the description below. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and remember, life's too short to be a music snob.